Welcome to the podcast. I am your illustrious host, Dean Seddon, and I'm making this a very special episode of the podcast because I've not done one solo for a few weeks, and I've decided to do this solo one because there are tons of people struggling with something and I really want to help them. And it is this: the unpredictability of their client getting clients. And I've spoke to hundreds of people in person, online. I do loads of different events. I speak at loads of different events. And I can tell you now that if this is something you are struggling with, you are not on your own. And I'm going to explain why it happens and show you a way you can fix this. So if you're struggling with getting consistent clients, or maybe it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or worse, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. If you're in that boat, I really want to kind of add some value to you today in this episode. So please stay tuned. Find a quiet space, because for the next 10 or so minutes, I'm going to blow your mind with some thoughts that will help you really rethink how you get clients and leads. With that big promise laid out there, let's kick into this. So I've seen a lot of problems in businesses, and typically if a business can solve or crack the nut of client acquisition, they can pretty much solve anything. There's 2 big areas of a business: the finance department and the sales department. If those 2 departments function well, everything else you can fix. Right. So the big thing that's preventing most people from getting leads is the message. Now, do not switch off here, because this is so important, right? You as a business owner, you as a salesperson, you as a marketer, the message has to get people on the hook. If it doesn't get people going, I need to know more, your message isn't powerful enough. It isn't powerful enough. And when people get frustrated and go, why are people not flipping buying? Why am I not getting in the volume? Your message is not powerful enough. So how does your message get more powerful, or what are the things that are diluting the message? Well, the first one is, I'll just be honest with you, a lot of people are not clear. I could make, and I can make, a lot of money by selling one thing with one message over and over and over and over and over again. We think we have to change our message, tweak our message. Actually, the key to unlocking personal branding is actually saying the same thing in different ways. Same message, just expressed differently. So, number 1, your message and your success could actually be hinging on one sentence. And I know this is nuts, right? But in my 100 Leads program, I run it and I see business owners who are amazingly talented, got great products and services, unbelievably passionate about what they do. To some degree, they're more about the mission that they're on than the money they want to make. And that's healthy. If you're just doing something for money, that's a bad idea. But you need to make money. Everybody needs to make money, right? But they're so passionate, but their success is resting on one sentence. And I'll give you an example. I put out a post with one message on. I put a post out with another message on. And the difference between those 2 things, those 2 posts, one was 600 impressions and one was 60,000 impressions. And the more you get this, the more this will change your life. I am not joking here. I'm no drama. It will change your life. You can make a lot of money by having one clear, dialed in message and absolutely rinsing it. But here's the problem. One, we don't take any time to dial in the message. That's the first thing. We don't actually make any effort to dial in the message. So when we're doing all of this stuff, we don't make any effort to dial in the message. The message is the key. The message is the opening that makes the whole thing work. So that one message, that one clear message that resonates with your target audience will fix any algorithm, any visibility. It will beat all of those things and get you clients. So that's the first thing. A lot of people are struggling because their message isn't dialed in. So the second one is the pursuit of vanity metrics. The pursuit of vanity metrics. Now, we all want big followings. We all want big engagement. We all want all of those things, and it's healthy to want those things. But vanity metrics are when you're getting all of those things, but not getting clients drop at the other end. So why does this happen? Again, it's process and systems. So vanity metrics it assumes that if we get a big number of eyeballs, that will equal a big number of clients. And it isn't true. Unless you have a system to bring people from follower or curious content consumer to client, you're wasting your time. You can have 200 followers, 200, let's say an engaged audience, and you've got 200 followers, right? And you can have them and a system and be doing better than somebody with 100,000 followers. A few days ago, I did a video and I talked about an influencer who has more than 2 million followers and couldn't sell 36 t-shirts with their social account. What's the problem there? The problem there is that they had vanity metrics at the top that they couldn't monetize to become clients. Now, you don't need to be an influencer to make money. It's just, you don't need it. But if you pursue it, you miss the vital point. The vital point is I've got to take that fluff on social media, likes and comments and followers, and move a percentage of those people down to clients. If you've got 200 connections, it's actually easier for you in the early days. It's actually easier for you in the early days than it is the further and the bigger your network is. You don't have to have big followers, but the system, and systems are boring. I'll just tell you, systems are boring, but once they're in place, they make your life fantastic. They make you money. But without a system, you'll be doing whatever you're doing right now to get clients over and over and over again. So we've got the message. We've got the pursuit of vanity metrics that are holding you back and preventing you from getting clients. And then we've got the offer construction. The offer construction. What do we mean by the offer construction? Well, every business has an offer, the way they position what they're selling. Now, we think, and sometimes foolishly we think, that just by presenting what we do, people will get it. They'll get it. It's not true. We have to make it abundantly clear, totally obvious, no ambiguity of if you buy this product or service, this is the result it's going to bring. This is the outcome it's going to be. This is the real world impact it's going to make. And people are like, yeah, I do that. Really? Let me ask you, how does your client's world change as a result of your service? And if you give me a generic answer that somebody else could answer, you haven't packaged your offer. So let me give you an example. With my 100 leads program, which is something that I offer, I can guarantee that when that system is implemented, you will get consistent leads every single week from your LinkedIn. Every single week. How can I guarantee that? I can guarantee it because, one, this process that I teach is delivered off human nature. I understand human beings, and if you understand your human beings, you can systemize lead generation and make it predictable. Yep. And actually, if you talk to any ads person, you talk to any big marketer, they can tell you once you've got the dialed in message, you can scale it, you can systemize it. Most businesses don't do that. They don't stick with that. They don't even get past the first hurdles in the road. They ditch it. So your offer needs to be dialed in to a very specific outcome. In 6 or 7 weeks' time, I know you can be having consistent leads from LinkedIn without any sales pitches. That's what I know I can deliver, and so I make that part of the program. I don't say, oh, it's the leads generation program. I say, in this program, once your system is launched, you'll get 100 leads in 6 weeks, pretty much, other than like Christmas when you probably stop doing it, pretty much every 6 weeks. How can I be that confident? Because I believe in my product, I know my service and what it does, and I know if my clients sign up and do it, it will yield, and do the work, it will yield the result. My offer is dialed in and packaged around a result. In other words, the impact. I know that once this system's running, you'll have consistent leads every single flipping week. So offer construction becomes really important. So the next thing is that really scuppers people is audience. So social media allows us to get in front of lots and lots of people, tons of people. But if we want to make it as easy as possible to acquire clients, and we want to make it as straightforward as possible to grow our business, we have to choose an audience to serve who fits our sweet spot in terms of who we are and how we deliver service, of course, but also is easy to get to. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, we can get to everybody on social media, but some people are easier to get to than others. So if I go on LinkedIn and say, I want to get to HR managers, that's flipping easy. But if I want to target people who are suffering with burnout, I have a different challenge. And I don't want to go back to the message, but first of all, people might not want to admit or resonate with the burnout message in a public space, especially on LinkedIn, in case their managers and colleagues are seeing it. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is, I can't tell who's burnt out and who's not. And so what I'm looking for is my sweet spot, and which, in other words, clients who fit my sweet spot, but also I have ease of access to them. So LinkedIn has tons of parameters. Facebook has tons of parameters, but things like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter are far more difficult. So I would be looking at the audience I want to serve. How easy is it to get to them? In other words, can I easily identify them on the platform? And my message should then be dialed into that audience. And my offering should be dialed into that audience. What result do they want? And just one final thing on that offer, by the way, I know I'm jumping backwards. The offer should have, the real world impact should be very specific and wrapped around one of the 4 human motivations. There's only 4 human motivations. The 4 human motivations are, 1 is money, 1 is time, another one is the quality of something, and the final one is about the emotion or the ego of the person. So people go, Dean, there's not just 4 human motivations, there's more than that. No, they all fall into those 4 categories. If somebody's overworked, it's about time. If somebody's neglecting their relationship, it's about the quality of the relationships, the quality and the way they're managing their time. All human problems are defined into those 4 categories. All of them. Yeah? Health, quality of life. Yeah? It's all in those things. So when you're looking at your audience, your message and your offer, yeah, they fall into those 4 groups. And if you don't have a real world impact that resonates with the audience around one of those, literally one of those, by the way, one of those will do the job. And I'll tell you now, if you're trying to help HR managers, they may not necessarily be motivated by money like a business owner or a CEO might be, or a salesperson. So you're looking at which motivations, what's the motivation to buy for my target audience? Because it will be different based on who they are. HR managers will have a different motivation than a CEO. So when it comes to actually putting all of this together, you need the audience defined, your offer defined, your message defined, and a system to deliver those leads. Now, if you're in that place where you're going, I'm not getting the consistent leads, your problem is in one of those 4 camps. You either have an offer that isn't defined very clearly around the motivations, the message that you're using is off, the way you're communicating, in other words. I'm not saying you literally direct messaging. The offer is off, the message is off, the audience is off, or the system is off. It's one of those things. Your success hinges on you working in those 4 areas: audience, offer, message, system. Now, if you don't have those dialed in, my 100 Leads program is the place to start, where it'll start to get you leads from LinkedIn without you sending sales pitch, cold, spammy stuff. If you want to get leads, I'll help you define your message to attract the people who need what you sell, and not just as a course. We'll implement as we go, because like I said earlier, once the system is running, it will consistently deliver leads. So if you want to know more about that, you can reply and drop me a line. If you're listening to this on any of our podcast channels, you can reach out to us on our website. But if you want leads consistently from LinkedIn, you need a system that resonates with the audience, the offer, and the message all working together to make your business successful.